Hey everybody, how are you? It's your old pal Boise with another daily sobriety vlog. I'm just sitting down today and just trying to catch up with everything that's going on. You know, with sobriety, sometimes you have your ups, your downs. It's just like life. It isn't always great. It isn't always horrible. But hey, stats. Today is June 9th. It's a Tuesday. I've been sober for 14,315 days. 39 years, 3 months, 9 days, 470 months. There was something I wanted to read in the happiness book before I got into what I was going to do. Just because I wanted to cover it, and it was supposed to be for today. And then we had some things that transpired last night that I'm going to take a left turn on, shall we say. But it's adjusting my communication. When I was younger, I had a bad habit of speaking curtly to other family members. With time and with life's experience, I saw that my tone of my voice and my natural intensity could be hard to deal with and could be hurtful to others that I loved and wanted a good relationship with. Think about that for a moment. And oftentimes you're doing it to protect yourself because you're fearing rejection. So you're trying to push back before they even, and if they do reject you, you'll say, well, that's because I talked to them and then they rejected me because of the way I am or the way I talk. See, it's kind of a mechanism you use to push people back. It's your verbal 10-foot pole. I understand that to communicate effectively, I have to make certain adjustments for certain audiences. Communication is something very personal. To reach someone, the communication must be adjusted to the person's station where they're receiving you. Some people are unable to hear kind and loving words. We know those people. We even may be some of those people. That's the reason why we're in treatment, trying to open up and be as honest as we can, because we don't see or hear the "I love you" part, and we don't say it. And it's difficult once you start, but once you continue doing it, it's quite rewarding. Others are unable to tolerate loud and strong-worded communication. True. So I look and I listen and I adjust my method of communication to make sure that I can reach the person I want to reach. And once again, I got cat issues. And just like that, I'm back. Now, I may be interrupted again because Basil is in one of those moods where he wants to wrestle with everyone, and the older cats absolutely hate it. And I got to stop and I got to break him up. And if he doesn't stop, I got to put him in his room for a while. It's an ongoing thing. I forgot what it's like to have a cat that young. Sorry. Okay, we're back again, and Basil is in his room. So won't be any more interruptions for a while. He can take a little nap and settle down. And it's just funny because with that going on, someone mentioned that because of the 2 accidents that I received driving this last month, 500,000 miles on my rideshare app. I see 1 to 3 accidents a day. Honest to God, I'm the most defensive driver I've ever been in my life. Driving in Houston, 4th largest city, I tell people it's like standing up in a roller coaster. I wouldn't recommend it, but you know, that's how it is. A third of the people are just on their phones and just all over the place and not in the now, let's say. I've literally seen people drive by. I've got a phone holder to hold my navigation, but I've seen people drive by like this. Unbelievable. Usually, if I don't have a rider with me, I blow my horn and give them this, just to let them know that that's their grade for the day. They should know better, whatever they're doing. Cheers. Get on social media and posting something that's more important than being in the now right now, driving at 60 miles an hour. So those 2 accidents really roughed me up, and hearing the crash and being hit, and the first one I saw him coming, I had to brace myself because I couldn't get out of the lane. The second one just blindsided me completely. I didn't even see it coming. I was actually shocked. But anyways, So someone said I was suffering a little PTSD, probably. And then what really got me last night, I'm driving around. It took me a while to get back. I didn't really drive much this month because I was kind of shaky. And I have a rule: if I'm sleepy, I'm not going to drive. If I feel distracted, I'm not going to drive. But when I'm feeling the inner core shaking like that, it's like I don't drive too much, just a little bit, and call it and take little breaks, and not drive like I normally would do. And the funny thing is that with that, I was driving last night and I was feeling pretty good. You know, I was feeling pretty good. Basically adjusting my communication with myself, saying, okay, let's go out there and have a little fun. I had some good people. We got this thing we call the drive-by, where I actually have a camera running when I'm picking people up and talking to them. And sometimes I'm adjusting my communication with those people. If they are partying and wild, the conversation gets wild. If we're going to church, it's a little more serious conversation, talking about family and whatnot. Maybe I might mention that I've been sober for 39 years and that stimulates a conversation, but I would never say that to someone at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning that I'm taking home from a club, because then I would sound pompous and arrogant, and it's no place for that kind of conversation. And those folks, that's the last thing they want to hear. So, you know, you pick and choose your audience. But anyways, last night, I'm driving down Highway 6. It's 60 miles an hour. There's, in some spots, there's 3-4 lanes, but usually it's 3 lanes, middle turning lane, another 3 lanes, but it's pretty wide, pretty strong, pretty fast. And I drive all the way over to the right, which is considered the slower side, because the other side is supposed to pass you. And then in the leapfrog universe, where people don't pay attention, they go, oh, that's the slow one, so this is the fast one. So if that's the slow one, I can go faster than ever. No, it's not an Autobahn, but people do it. And when 60 miles an hour is the slow lane, you can imagine how fast they're going around you. And it's pretty embarrassing that people think that they're that important to do that, and how careless and reckless they are. At any rate, I picked up this fellow who was at his daughter's soccer game. His daughter's 15 years old. He went to the soccer game. We talked a little bit. He didn't want to talk much, and I said, it's really great you're a dad and you're going to see your girls' games. And then I realized we're going to a bar afterwards. And then we were talking, and towards the end, and I realized that he's divorced. He has 3 children. That's one of his girls. And he went to the soccer game, and now he's just Ubering out to go to a bar. So he wouldn't get a DWI, but then mentioned that he didn't have a car anymore either because of a DWI. So it's like, I didn't tell him that I've been sober for that long. I didn't want to get into it. I just kind of felt bad for him, because I know that feeling, and it's pretty self-inflicted. And it was kind of sad. And sometimes the people in the stories are not as good as you think they are. Started off good, like, hey, you're going to see your daughter play soccer. Yeah, it's cool. That's a cool dad thing to do. And before we got to the end, I realized that he had issues with drinking that he wouldn't admit to, and that's the reason why he's divorced or separated. He didn't say if he was or not, but he didn't have a ring anymore. And for a couple times, I didn't keep the recording because it might be embarrassing to him, but there were a couple of times he just zoned out, and I looked in the mirror and he just staring out the window, going, yeah. Wasn't a happy guy. Anyways, I dropped him off. I felt sorry for him. And, you know, feeling a little shaky myself, like, I'll still drive a little more. So I'm going back down Highway 6, going east, and I'm going to go up 288. That takes me into Pearland, where I live. Cheers. And I'm halfway to 288, and I get a call. And it's always funny. I always laugh. It's like, if I'm in the left lane, Uber wants me to take a right at the intersection. If I'm going down a highway, it's behind me. I'm never going in that direction. I don't know how that works. So I got, damn it. So I stopped at the light and I turn around. And I'm coming to get this guy. Looks familiar, and the place looks familiar, but I didn't think much of it at the time. As I'm going to him on Sienna Parkway, a nice little subdivision, it's a T intersection. The other side's just a strip mall, and there's a traffic light. But all these cars were stopped. I'm like, what's going on? Somebody break down? So I'm just kind of trying to weave through, and ladies out there waving people and trying to get them to go around. Turns out that these 3 cars hit each other, and another couple hit each other. It's like 7 or 8 cars hit each other. And after what I've been through, I'm like, oh God, I'm already feeling little butterflies in my stomach again. Like, this is incredible. And I get around those 3 cars that hit each other, and I see this black twisted pile of something. I thought, I swear to God, I thought it was like garbage bags full of leaves that fell out of one of the trailers from the guys who do the lawn service. And it blows out and crashes on, crumpled up on the highway. No, it was someone's motorcycle. So what had happened is these 7 or 8 cars slammed into each other, and the motorcycle was in the midst of it all. And I saw the motorcycle, so I looked, and I switched lanes to go around it. And there was a person there who was definitely not alive. So I've seen 4 bodies in the 8 years I've been driving in Houston, and I've seen a lot of horrific accidents too. And I one time saw a motorcyclist. It was a mess on 288. I was coming up, and I was like, is that an arm? Someone's jacket sleeve? What is that? And I got further up, and there was a guy holding a stub. And it was the motorcycle, and he had a helmet on. It was a motorcyclist, and he lost part of his arm back there. And this is before my recent accidents here, so I just thought, wow. And it was kind of shocking. And that was it. It didn't really affect me like this did to not last night, because of me already having a couple accidents, and I'm still trying to, like today I got to call the insurance company and set up an appointment to get the rear end of my car repaired. And then I got to talk to my insurance company about my door that I got hit. So I got to do that as well. And that's going to be opening and initiating a claim. So it's like, God, I feel like I'm juggling knives and axes completely naked. And it's like, I don't dare drop one, I'll lose something. It's I always make a joke. It's like, you ever lean back on a chair and you lose your balance and you catch yourself? Yeah, that's how I feel right now. All month long. But this thing last night was quite horrific. And then when I went to go pick up this guy, it was kind of nice because his name is Abe. I went, oh, I recognize that name. Oh, I know where we're going. It's a turnaround in the cul-de-sac at the end of this really nice subdivision. Oh, we're going to the Shell station. I picked him up before. So I was talking to him, and he's like, oh, you have picked me up. This is wild. And I said, yeah, I've got 25,000 pickups with Uber and 4,000 with Lyft. So I got over 29,000 people I picked up, Abe. I've only picked you up twice, and I remember you. So that's pretty cool, huh? And we had a really good conversation. And then I mentioned the accident and stuff, and he was really kind of shocked by it. I said, yeah, I just saw that on the way there. I just shared it with him, not in any detail, no gory detail, just because I had to like relieve some of the pressure. And it was nice to see him. It was like seeing an old friend, even though we're not friends. If someone would have said, hey, remember Abe in Savannah subdivision? Remember the cul-de-sac? He goes to the Shell station. Like, oh, it looks familiar. When I'm looking at the map, it all kind of falls into place. And then I remember it vividly. But, I dropped him off. That was a good feeling, and I'm heading back. And I got a pickup by Pearland, so I'm going back down the Highway 6. And the motorcycle is pulled all the way over to the turning lane. There's one car that's still damaged that's waiting for a tow truck. All the other cars are cleared away. There are 3 cop cars with their lights on from Iowa Colony, which is that area, and they have their lights going. And like I say, it's at a lighted intersection, and of course someone pulled up and stopped because it was a red light, just like I did when I got hit. Somebody else rubbernecking because it's 60 miles an hour. Look at that, someone hit a motorcycle and they plowed into another car. So a fresh accident on top of the 7-8 car pile up in the motorcycle fatality. Then 2 more people hit it looking, or one person gets hit by another looking, rubbernecking. And I'm like, man, this is a zoo out here. So I picked up my last ride and called it a night. And it was funny when I was explaining to Abe the whole thing, and not in detail. And the reason why it was not in detail, I started to weep a little bit. And I really thought I'd be crying as I was telling you this video, but I'm not. I don't know if I'm relieved or unnerved by it, because I'm still feeling something inside, but obviously I'm not expressing it properly. So I need to look at that myself as well and talk to more people about it, and definitely counselors, and definitely AA meetings or Narcotics Anonymous meetings and things of that nature, and other people that are sponsors in some of these churches that I swing into, and join them when I'm free to do the AA meetings. I'm kind of all over the place, because when I'm driving, if I feel the need to stop somewhere because I'm feeling a little low, I'll just go to somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't necessarily belong to a church or a club or anything like that, but I do need to talk to people every now and then, so that's what I do. Cheers. But the thing is, you never know what's going to happen. I'm sure this person who was in the motorcycle is probably, I would imagine, just at that time of night, probably going home from work. Probably a motorcycle, because he's a young person. You don't usually see old farts like me on motorcycles, unless they have the trikes, I guess, where they're a real old biker who's still tough as nails doing it. But he's probably just saving money on gas because of the debacle of the economy and how bad it's getting, and no one can explain what we're doing in Iran. So, and the gas prices keep inching up no matter what you say the war is over. It's not a war, but people are over there dying. It's like the markets are gonna react accordingly, and they'll go up and down a little bit, and their big victory is, instead of $4 gas, it's $3.75, so win. But if the other president was in there and it was $3.75, he'd be screaming on day one, I could get it down to $2. I'm not lying. He would. And the bottom line is that everyone suffers from that. Like me, I adjust my communication when I'm talking to people. There was a lady later on, my last one, she was madder than hell about the government, and so we had fun. Oh my God. And I didn't even turn the camera on for this one. I was just gonna get one more ride and go home. Figured, I don't know why I didn't turn it on, then it was too late. Because I thought it was on, but it was basically the 7 words you can't say on radio and television from George Carlin, plus the extra words. It was a swear fest, and it was fun, and I let a lot of energy out of me. She let out a lot of energy. We just, at the end, we were like, oh my God. And she said, I just wish I had a blunt to smoke. And I said, if I had one, I'd give you one. If I had a gummy, I'd give you one. I said, but, I've been sober for 39 years. I'm sorry to make you feel uncomfortable. No, as far as I'm concerned, marijuana is prescribed by doctors, so who am I to stand in the way? If you have anxiety or problems, the doctor tells you to smoke something. Who am I to stand in your way? He doesn't tell you to have a glass of Jack Daniels, turn your hat to the side, throw your raincoat over your shoulder, and sing Frank Sinatra songs. Sorry, Frank. He doesn't do that. That's a male cliche kind of thing. So anyways, it was enlightening and fun. And like I always say, I would look ridiculous because I say Texas is going to be the 48th state to legalize marijuana Mississippi and Alabama are going to fight to be the most ignorant, and I believe Alabama's going to win. Roll Tide. And I, not a Republican, and I, who do not like Lion Ted Cruz, could work for Lion Ted Cruz and say this to him. Sir, I don't want to say or ask if you've ever smoked marijuana or not, so you have to do a Bill Clinton, like, I didn't inhale. It's like saying I had a glass of whiskey, but I didn't drink. What? Even that was like, hey, Bill, Jesus, what the hell, man? What kind of a stupid answer is that? Can you stand up and still have your lap? You're a miracle man. But I would tell Lion Ted Cruz, no matter if you did or not, sir, here's what you have to say. You have never engaged, gotta say it like this, in marijuana. That way people will know that you're a tool and you've never smoked marijuana, okay? Then you would say, but you have constituents that suffer from the ravages of chemotherapy, from cancer. And doctors have all universally agreed that marijuana helps people recovering from chemotherapy, i.e. helps them not vomit so much, helps them rest easier and not feel so sick. So it's doctor prescribed. Then you take your two little fists, put them on your fat ass hips, stand there proudly and say, there, I'm a Republican that backs up science, so enough of that fake news too. And then turn to the lobbyists and go, where's my money, motherfucker, so I can go on my campaign fund? And that's what's gonna happen. When they realized that, someone was watching Fox News and they said, you can't have marijuana because then you're gonna have homeless people all over the place. Homeless people, do tell, how's that gonna happen? We already have enough, but they'll all come to this state because they'll be able to get that marijuana. You do realize that marijuana is more expensive because it's hydroponic. And somehow they cut it with Red Bull where one keeps you active and going and the other one takes you down. Like I had someone insult me and say, well, it isn't like dirt weed like it was in your day. I'm like, dirt weed? Acapulco Gold was the primo stuff. But yeah, I would get totally high, wake up on the couch, passed out, Doritos on my belly and Pink Floyd's 8-track playing, and I didn't know where I was on the 8-track, and I'm thinking, oh my God, how long have I been passed out? It was just like freaking me out. I didn't even know. And then I got friends now that say, I stay up all night and play Call of Duty, and we smoke, and I'm up all night. Sativa keeps you up. Or they cut it with Red Bull. So you stay up all night to play Call of Duty so you can get your ass kicked by a 9-year-old South Korean boy who's getting up and eating cereal and whipping your ass? I've never been online. I'm so old that I don't even know what an Xbox looks like. I had a Nintendo thumb I suffered from. And it was funny because I was always doing Super Mario 2. And I finally got to the final board. And I had someone who was younger, I go, not called boards, they're called levels. How old are you? Look at me, I'm old. But I got to the final board, saved the princess, the flag dropped down. That was great. Right back to the beginning. It was reset, that was it. That's it? It's a lot like the 12-step program. Once you get to the 12th step, the 12th one where you're making amends with someone, and you don't want to make amends to everybody at once. That doesn't make any, you target a few that you really feel need to be addressed immediately. You target them, and then you go back and start over again. So it never ends, just like Super Mario. There's no big fanfare, you just go back. And I thought, wow, that's a lot like being in treatment. That's amazing to me. It's quite a parallel, actually. Communication with people and how we receive other people, it's important. I meet a lot of fun people. We have a lot of good times. I've had some people that are pretty insulting too, but not very often because people say, hey man, how many pendeos have you picked up? About 8 out of 29,000, that's not bad. On a Saturday night in Pasadena at the bar, I'd meet that many on a Saturday night. So yeah, it's a lot better driving people because people are more happy you're taking them home. And be like, oh, you're the bad ones, They were drunk? No, not a one of them. The 8 or so bad ones were actually out-of-town white businessmen. Now, I'm not saying all white businessmen are pendejos, but I meant 8 of them, you know? And it'd be easy for someone to say, well, all white businessmen are like that. Because if they were all black, someone would say, yeah, I picked up 8 black people, and they were just, well, picked up 8 Asian, my God. I picked up 8 Irish, holy God. People do stuff like that because we put them in categories and then we marginalize them because we always feel like they're the ones that cause us our misery when actually we're the one causing our own misery. And sometimes we put ourselves in a situation like my insurance company will probably act like I'm still 25% fault because I was there and my car was not in the garage, and my insurance is still going to go up anyways. And then I got to stop and get my car worked on, and it's like try to get it back to normal again. So your life is in pieces sometimes, and you just try to adjust and keep moving on. Never once did it occur to me to go back and doing drugs or get drunk over it. But, you know, that's the way it is. Sometimes people do if they're not really working on themselves. And it's important that you work on yourself, because even when I'm feeling good, like I did last month, I would tell you that it's just awesome. Everything's really going good. I feel fantastic. And now all of a sudden I don't. And I feel almost like my health is less than it was last month, just because the depression takes me down. So that's the reason why I'm doing this video, is to let you know that you can have some bad days and still be sober. I can feel tears coming out because of what I went through. And see, that's the thing. We see things and we experience things that are sometimes horrific and painful. And we need to express that with other people. You have to get it out. You can't keep it in. It's like putting a Mentos in a Coke bottle and putting your thumb over it and shaking it. Pretty soon everybody's going to get that sticky Coke on them. It's going to blow up on everyone's face. So, you know, it's good to talk to people and get it out and go to treatment and go to AA meetings or Narcotics Anonymous meetings. And if you have a counselor, yes, have a counselor. Do it. If you have one that's court appointed like mine early ones were, utilize them as best you can, because you're going to need them. And what you learn from them, it helps you later, you know. And besides all this other stuff, I'm physically suffering from this spider bite that I got on my eye. I mean, the swelling is down now, but my vision is slightly blurred. So that's another reason why I'm not driving. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be back in the saddle and slowly, piece by piece, and get myself going again. In the meantime, I'm talking to people and some other people that are in the program. I can Zoom call them or even just talk to them on the phone. Sometimes I just text, but definitely communicate and tell people how I'm feeling. That's very important. And it's important that you do that. And I hope your sobriety, you're riding high today. But if you're not and you're riding low like me, I hope you appreciate that you're not alone. It's kind of shocking and humbling. Like I tell everyone, the first 5 years are the most frightening. And the last few days in my 39 years of sobriety have been that frightening, like back in the day. So it's a very similar feeling. And I'm just shocked, like I've never felt like this before. And it just goes to show you that it can happen. Now I got to keep continuing. I got to push forward. And I can resolve this and move on. We all have to resolve and move on. It's important for all of us to do something like that. You know, like I said, this thing about adjusting your communications when you're communicating with other people, I'm also saying you adjust to their station. Also adjust to your own station. I'm adjusting things that I'm talking about today so I can actually hear it. Even though I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself as well. And it's important. It's important. And it's important that you take your sobriety seriously as well as enjoy your sobriety. And once again, I got a real long Minnesota goodbye. So I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being on the daily sobriety vlog. And today is Tuesday, June 9th. I've been sober for 14,315 days, 39 years, 3 months, and 9 days. And I've been sober for 470 months. Man. So, I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate you following and hanging out with me. I appreciate you like, subscribe, you comment, and meet people down below in the chat. People who are in there, just drop them a line. Say, hey man, you've been sober for 8 months. I've been sober for 8 years. Good job. I remember what it was like. It's not easy. I encourage you to keep going. Just nice little words. Tell them a story of what you went through at that time. They would really appreciate it. It might not directly relate to their exact specific sobriety, but the tone and the nature and the direction definitely will. So you can still take something with you. You don't take the whole story, but you take a little nugget and go, thank you. Like a little squirrel taking a little nugget. Hey, a little acorn, thank you. So make sure you reach out to people. And we do our outreach program, so thank you for helping us. Patreon, thank you. Venmo, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, ding, 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 chime. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for spending time with me. Your time is important. It's valuable. I do appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart to the top of my soul, I see you. I thank you. And in the words of not Frank, in the words of not that cat, and in the words of not Buddha, but in the words of Ringo, right there, crossing Abbey Road. Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. I appreciate the fact that you're joining us. I appreciate the fact that you're talking to others in our little village, in our community. Thank you. This is just supposed to be the open dialogue so we can just start talking. And if we have to rally around 39 years of sobriety, that's fine. But if it's 39 days of sobriety, that's also excellent. Once again, peace and love. I love you. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you on the next daily sobriety vlog. Love you. Bye-bye.